Alright there, okay, so I got another video for you, I suppose. It's, I've just been thinking about Concorde, really. It's a bizarre thing, Concorde, and, well, flight in general is, like, scary, I suppose, but I suppose I think about Concorde because of Flat Earth, and, you know, there was footage from it saying, like, oh, you could see the curvature. And then some other guy on YouTube was saying, you know, he showed footage and it wasn't there at all. But just the whole thing of Concorde is odd to me, because, you know, people really don't like plane flight. You know, it's never a topic that everyone would like say, oh, I'd love to do that. But Concorde is like, you know, when people have bucket lists, people will always say, oh, I'd love to have been on Concorde. Oh, it would have been great. Oh, yes. Oh, I know it costs so much money, but I'd love to have gone. Like, that was just something that people actually loved. They would love to do it. It's just, I mean, the flight's going to be just as bad, you know, but people, I think, would have loved to go on Concorde. I mean, the fact is, most people who say that could never afford Concorde, you know. And the point is this: it's the airline system is a class system that is, I think, really quite true. It's much truer than the land system. The land system is just, you know, bedrooms and garden, basically. If you've got a 5-bedroom house, you can be middle class. If you've got a 2-bedroom house, you're working class. That's basically how it goes. But in the air, I think everyone really is kind of like economy, business, or first. But I can't believe people in first class. You know, where's Bill Gates? How is Bill Gates flying? Is he really going to bother with like 11 hours to get to London or whatever? I just don't believe there's nothing else. Like, how can Concorde go down? And yet, what are they left with? They can't be just left with 11 hours in the sky, because a plane flight is awful. It's absolutely terrible. It's, you know, it's too long to go to sleep. It's too long for everything, basically. Like, Concorde was great because it was like 3.5 hours supposedly to New York from London. And that's like a long, like, movie, really. That's great. And I can't believe the elite, whoever the elite are, even people who have millions of pounds, I can't believe they're going to, like, go back now to, like, long flights when all, you know, there was I mean, the fact is, right, Concorde, supposedly, what happened was a titanium strip was dropped by a DC-10 onto the pathway, you know, the flight path, and the runway. And what happened, supposedly, Concorde went along, and it, like, its tyre got punctured, and so as it flew up, the pressure, like, somehow destroyed, like, one of the engines, and that caught fire. That's supposedly the truth, you know. So you know, officially it had no problems, yet they grounded them all and stopped them all. But I mean, that can't be the truth, because before that, none of them crashed. And people could say, oh well, yeah, there's not many Concordes though, but still, all them years of flight, none of them have crashed. And above that, the public love Concorde, yet they take it out of circulation completely. Nothing more. And not only that, all the elites, everyone who can obviously afford Concorde, whatever it was, you know, because it doesn't matter if someone's a billionaire, they're not going to care if a flight's 3,000 or 15,000. It's not going to, you know, it's not going to matter to them. For someone who's, you know, a normal cattle person, obviously a £3,000 flight is ridiculous, probably more than a like holiday. But for someone who's a billionaire or a multimillionaire, it's not going to matter. So Concorde should have been able to run forever, because the elites are going to pay, you know, think all the hours extra they have to go and spend in the air doing like nothing. They're going to hate that. No one's going to like get used to that. So unless they've got like a black Concorde now, unless there is something new out there that no one ever seen, like why have they done it? It really makes no sense to me at all. I mean, people can say, oh well, yeah, it was an old design, you know, and it cost too much to improve, but they could have improved it. They could improve anything, you know, keep with it. But it doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, I don't know what the crash thing was. That seemed odd, but I don't know. But there is something very wrong with Concorde. They're not telling us the truth about it at all. I mean, and I don't think it's about Flat Earth. I mean, it could be, but it's... it'd be funny if it was. I'd love to think it was. I mean, some people might think it's because there's an underground system, you know, like very fast trains. And I could believe it, I suppose. You know, it's some kind of underground system that can whip you across the world, you know, in a very short space of time. That would make sense, I guess. And there's less chance of dying, maybe. You know, obviously you're not going to fall out of the sky. But it's, I don't know. It seems very odd to me, the whole thing. But the elites, I can't believe the elites are going back on the old planes. I mean, these planes have been going on forever now, you know. I mean, some of them will believe they're falling out of the sky all the time, I guess, if you want to believe all the mainstream stuff. But it just seems, it's just a terrible way. It's a terrible way to travel by plane. You're just stuck in the sky. You know, there's like a hum all the time. It's just not nice at all. Everything about it's terrible. No one's like, you know, I'd love to go up in a plane for nothing, if it was free. They wouldn't do it. It's just scary. You know, everyone's just hoping they're not going to die. That's all I was ever hoping. You know, as soon as you get up there, it's like, right, hopefully I won't die today. So I don't know what the elites are doing, but I don't believe they're going back to 11 hours to cross to get to New York. Like, what does Rothschild do? What's he doing? It makes no sense at all. They must have a Concorde, even a private Concorde, you know. But no, I've never seen it on the news. They've rebuilt the Concorde, they made it faster, more luxurious, whatever. You know, there's nothing, is there? It's just like, oh well, the elites have just gone back now to like waiting forever on a plane, whereas before it was done in like a third of the time. Nah, man, I don't believe that at all. Something's weird about it. But I guess, I don't know. I guess I'll never know. But it's bizarre, really. That's about it, really. That's just my thought on it. Oh well, there you go.